Headsprout Early Reading includes 80 stories. We call these Sprout Stories. The Sprout Stories are essential and are meant to be read by the learners as they progress through the program. There are different types of Sprout Stories, and they've been written across different genres. We have fiction and nonfiction, we have expository text, and we also have poetry. I'll tell you about each Sprout Story type. We have the Headsprout Reader. There are 12 Headsprout Readers. These stories have been read directly online, and they're meant to be used by the teacher as your benchmark reading assessments. Another Sprout story type is called a Read With Me story. This is a duet story. As you can see, there's text that an adult would model fluency, and then text that the learner would jump in and read. Another type of Sprout story is called a companion story. The companion stories are longer stories. They introduce novel words, but the kids can read the novel words because they've been prepared to do so by the program. In the second half of the program, kids read episode stories. Now, these stories are read directly online, and we use them for comprehension and fluency activities. Another story is called a chapter story. The chapter stories are the longest stories in the program. They provide the opportunity for students to read stories with multiple chapters, more complex plots, and they really help to build reading endurance. Having your children read all 80 Sprout stories is essential to the program. We encourage you to provide that opportunity to assure reading success. Headsprout Early Reading includes 80 Sprout stories that are essential to the program. We've included resources for our teachers to help them know when it's time to read a story. In our printed material, we have our teacher guide, our Sprout Stories leveling guide, and also our benchmark folder. These resources will help you know when it's time to read a story. Online, you'll be able to access your performance reports, and the performance reports also help you know when it's time for a story. Also online, from your My Headsprout page, you'll be able to access what we call the Sprout Stories chart for an individual learner. Here you can see how the stories are listed, and they're tied to specific episodes. Everything that's in color is a story that this learner is ready to read. Also online, while a learner is working on the program, we have made it so a little icon will pop up on the bottom of the screen. When you see this little book icon, you know that after this episode, it's time to read a story. The Headsprout stories are essential to the program, and we really encourage you to have your learners read them as they progress through the program to get the most out of Headsprout.